Why are we still moving toward bigger government? It's been 30 years since Free to Choose. Milton Friedman warned us bigger government won't work, but people still don't get it. Could be worse. This book has made a difference. It's been translated into 25 languages. President Reagan called it a survival kit for freedom. Britain's former Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher, said she was heavily influenced by Free to Choose. At the time, most of Europe was moving toward big government. Thatcher changed that in Britain. The presidents of the former Soviet bloc countries like the Czech Republic and Estonia say the blueprint for their free market reforms was Free to Choose. And those reforms worked. The Czech Republic and Estonia prospered. Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger also said, Milton Friedman expressed everything I ever thought about the way the economy works. Oh, well, I guess not everybody who reads this really gets it. To me, the most important thing about Free to Choose is that it explains what creates prosperity and what could be more important. America's current economic problems notwithstanding, life here is pretty good. We have a standard of living that's the envy of most of the world. Why? Prosperity is not the norm around the world. Poverty is the norm. And throughout history, most people have lived in dire poverty. Most still do. There are 6 billion people on Earth. Maybe 1 billion have something close to our standard of living. Twice as many, maybe 2 billion, live in horrible poverty. So why? Why did America succeed when most of the people in the world are still poor? Let me ask you, what's the secret? Why did America do well when most of the world is poor?
We have relatively low taxation in this country so that people get to keep more of their money and therefore they're more motivated to work hard.
I think it's because people in America are free to go wherever they want to and start businesses. That way there aren't any limits and the people don't have to wait in line to ask the government whether they can sell something.
Thank you. This is a very libertarian audience, and I, of course, like that. Normally, when I ask high school students that question, and I do that actually often because in school, many students sometimes watch a TV special I made about the question, and most of them answer, America's prosperous because we have democracy. And I always answer, well, democracy's good, but India has democracy, and India's been horribly poor for years. The students then say, oh, well, that's because India's overpopulated. But actually, per square mile, India has about as many people as New Jersey. New Jersey does okay. Other students then tell me, well, America's prosperous because we're a young country, so we have lots of natural resources. And resources are good, but again, India has resources. And consider Hong Kong. Hong Kong has no resources. It's just a rock. They don't even have democracy. The communist Chinese run the show, and before them, it was the colonial British. Yet in the last 50 years, Hong Kong went from third world poor to our level of wealth. Why? How? Well, in Free to Choose, Milton Friedman gave the reason. It was the free market.
If you want to see how the free market really works, this is the place to come. Hong Kong.
Today, the per capita income in Hong Kong is higher than in Canada and Australia. Did they achieve this miracle here because of Obama-like government investment and job creation? No.
This miracle hasn't been achieved by government action, by someone sitting in one of those tall buildings telling people what to do. It's been achieved by allowing the market to work.
Hong Kong's colonial government mostly left people alone. The British rulers did enforce rule of law. They prevented people from robbing and killing each other. But then they basically sat around and drank tea. And free people, left alone, created prosperity.
No government official is telling these people what to do. They're free to buy from whom they want, to sell to whom they want, to work for whom they want. Sometimes it looks like chaos, and so it is. But underneath, it's highly organized by the impersonal forces of a free marketplace.
At the time, most other countries did not have that freedom to choose.
India has tremendous economic and human potential. The human tragedy is that in India, that potential has been stifled by the straitjacket imposed by an all-wise and paternalistic government. Central planning in practice has condemned India's masses to poverty and misery.